Good morning, everyone. First, I hope everyone is okay. Second, thank you to everyone who has reached out to me. I am okay. My mom's okay. There was a point a little bit earlier this week where um, there was something called the Sunset Fire, and that was pretty close to my job. We didn't officially have to evacuate or anything like that, but we chose to. So everything kind of happened very suddenly. And we closed up shop at my job and like got home to safety. And hi Heidi, I hope everything's okay for you. So I am in Los Angeles. I'm not necessarily I don't live close to the fires per se. I did hear that there was a fire in Baldwin Hills. I can't really find much information about it now. They must have got that one out pretty quick. That would have been pretty close to my house. Um, but the Palisades fire, even though it's coming pretty far east, it's not yet near where I am. So I am okay. My mom's okay. We're really grateful. Yeah. Okay. Alex says, and I hope that all of you are okay. And thank you again to everybody who's checked in on me and my mom and my family. Um, So I think on today's live, we might talk about some insurance, like some strategic things if you need to do it. I have had people already be like, Shelly, are you going to make videos on this? I might do that. There is likely already unemployment aid offered through the California EDD. They do normally set things up like that pretty quickly for fire victims. I would like to donate some money. I haven't done it yet. I am in between pay periods right now. So I have about $100. I'm thinking probably I will donate $50 to the Red Cross and $50 to the Humane Society. Of course, I'm sad about the people, but you guys know I'm a huge animal lover, and some of the animal shelters are already full. Some of the rest of you guys might know that I grew up in Pasadena. I went to elementary school in Pasadena. I went to, um, I'm gonna say like through 10th grade about. I went to, kindergarten through 10th grade in Pasadena. So I have a lot of childhood friends that still live in Pasadena, and they're not close friends. I don't think it matters. They're people that I know, and they're posting that they've lost everything. I really kind of feel like we're at the point with this where almost everybody in California or who's ever lived in California like knows someone who has lost everything to these fires. And I just think that that's completely devastating. Okay, Alex says, stay safe with all the craziness of the fires. I believe this is going to have a devastating effect on the region. Insurance claims will skyrocket, displaced families, and huge losses. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I also want to read something. My mom and I are both okay. Sean, thank you for checking in on that. Okay. And ironically, this was posted on Chapel Roan's. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this to share it with you guys. Thank you, Sean. Also, yeah, I definitely just like I'm just waking up. I worked a night shift again last night. Well, like I often do, so that's okay. Um and again, all like always, if you guys want to talk about something else, let me know and we can do that. I'm going to go back to Instagram. But I'm just going to talk. And if you guys are over fire talk, we can change that as well. Really, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm happy to kind of do this. Okay. Let's, okay. City of Pasadena. I follow them. So that's probably what you guys are seeing. Okay. Let's actually go to the City of Pasadena's page for a second. Oops, because probably one of the most important things is going to be something really, really sad. Can you even believe that they have to post this? So we're going to just say this for a second. Avoid getting scammed after a disaster. Like that would I would just be so, so heartbreaking. So please, please, please be careful um, about getting scammed. If your home has been damaged after a disaster, you may be susceptible to scammers trying to take advantage of you during this vulnerable time. Be cautious before hiring a contractor or signing any document, and use available resources for advice. A lot of like the city of Pasadena is posting really good information. So I'm just following them on Instagram. Interesting. Let me know if you guys want me to read through any of these. I also maybe wanted to talk about like what to put in a safety go kit because quite honestly, like I don't know. And that's the case with a lot of things. I might not know, but we can look at it together. Okay. Ba, 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 bum. Hold on one second. I gotta see who sit with what. I want to look for somebody that had some really good things. Sit with WHIT. Okay, Chapel Roan reposted this. Okay. And the title is Toxic Positivity During a Natural Disaster. And I think everybody wants to say the right thing, including me. You want to my natural instinct is to want to try and make people feel better, but you don't always do that, even if your intentions are good. So, according to this post, you don't want to, it's not the time to like force toxic positivity. So, try not to say, and I didn't know this either, try not to say it's just stuff. Try not to say, you'll be able to rebuild. Don't worry. At least you're safe. Be grateful you're not like somebody else in another situation who went through a different natural disaster. At least you have somewhere to go that's safe. Stuff is replaceable. That's what insurance is for. You'll just build a new house. Instead, to make people feel validated and supported, you're supposed to say things like, this is hard and we'll get through it together. Do you want to talk about it? This is devastating. You don't have to look on the bright side right now. I think that's really important. Like, even if you're not directly affected by the fires, like I feel like because everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, or just because we're caring people and it's hard to see this go on, you don't have to look on the bright side right now. Do you want to talk about your options? It's probably really hard to see any good in this situation. I'm here for you. I'm not going anywhere. This isn't easy, and you don't have to pretend like it is, and you don't deserve this. And I think that's going to get into some people's feelings, right? No one deserves this, no matter what their situation is. Okay, Anthony says, lots of people say bad things about the victims as they are rich celebrities who can easily rebuild. Regardless of their wealth, they still lost their homes, and it's devastating to anybody. And like the times are different. Just because somebody was once wealthy and they once were able to purchase a home in a really nice neighborhood, it doesn't mean that they still are. A lot of the actors I've seen speak on TV, I haven't seen them act on anything recently. The pay wasn't what it was a long time ago. Like E and insurance has been really shady this year. Um, Ben says that his boss had a small beach house next to PCH and it went up in flames. He's really sad and upset, and it's a mix of emotions for sure. And I don't wanna spread, like, fear, right? Um, and I don't really know how things are gonna play out. I know that from what I've heard, insurance companies do not have the best reputation for adequately taking care of people. And there have been a lot of things in the news about the insurance companies canceling people. Now, I don't know if that's actually canceling people from I don't know if that's actually canceling people from these current fires or not, but you guys know that I was talking a lot about homeowners insurance, I think probably like November, December of last year, because a lot of people, because of fires like these, got notices that they were losing their homeowners insurance. And some of the options are Joy and Joey, we are okay. Me and my mom are both okay. We're safe. We're not affected by the fires. I almost got to cat sit some cats. Um, I have a lot of my old coworkers live in Pasadena. They're okay, but one of the coworkers that I'm still pretty close to, he goes to church on Sunday. He's always trying to get me to go to church on Sunday, and I'm always like, "No, I do YouTube on Sundays." But he knows that somebody from his church lost everything in the fire. 2 of my childhood friends have posted that they've lost just everything in the fire. So it's very sad. So, and I think mentally, I do think it's tolling on everyone, you know? I I work in a building where people commute in, and certainly some of the staff, especially with we had the Sunset Fire and that was very close to my work. So I had a couple of employees who were like, "I gotta go." That's right behind my house. They are okay though. Alex says, "How do I think the loss of cars is going to affect insurance as well? Premiums for everyone in California, because that's another massive payout for those who abandoned their cars and they're now totaled." I don't know how any of that portion works. From what I didn't watch a lot of this, right? I'm trying not to watch too much news because it also still take a toll on your mental health. So if you can step away, take a break from all the bad news, and I think that could be good for um your mental health. I'm going to definitely try and take a break from social media and all those kinds of things today. So, but from what I saw, it's not like they abandoned their cars by choice. I saw that, like, policemen were knocking on the cars and saying, "Hey, you have to get out of your car. You have to abandon your car." So I just can't imagine already being on the evacuation route and then being asked to also abandon your car. So I don't quite know how all that played out. I did see that they had to bring bulldozers in to clear the cars so that the fire trucks can get up. I don't know, I don't know about auto insurance. I do unfortunately think that homeowners insurance, especially with fire coverage, is going to go up as a result of this. Um, And I don't know what the I again, this is a situation where I don't know what the right thing is, right? Even if even if an insurance company was nonprofit, right? Um, how how much money would they have to charge people to be able to cover this kind of emergency, you know? I don't know that they're saying $50 billion in damage, and I think that that's just the Palisades fire. I'm not sure if it's both fires or not. So that's just an incredible amount of damage, and like, I would like to think, and this is probably not true, but this is what I would like to think. If I had an insurance company, I would want to be able to make enough to pay my employees. I would wanna make enough to be able to take a salary for myself. I would wanna be able to make enough to cover damage no matter how much damage was sustained. But I can tell you, even though my insurance tripled this year on my homeowner's insurance, it tripled. It went from about $600 to a little over $1,800. So, and that's a lot of money to me to add. It's an extra $100 a month, but in the grand scheme of things, even so I've now owned the house about 10 years. So 10 times 600 for most of that time. So I probably only paid about $6,000 in insurance. And my house also they almost don't um pay for replacement costs. They pay for like the value that your house was when you bought it most of the time, unless you voluntarily pay more than this. So I've only up until this past year where it went up to 1,800, I probably have only put about $6,000 into insurance cost in my house. But if I were to lose my own home, it would be about $130,000 is approximately what I bought this house for. Um, so one, I wouldn't even necessarily be able to replace my house with that. And then two, like the insurance companies, like how do they stay in business? How do they not go bankrupt? What happens if they just don't have enough money to pay for the houses to be rebuilt? I also, you know, the permitting has changed. So maybe they didn't know things when they built the houses like 60 years ago, like building on a hill or building close to this or building close to that, or building in a fire zone. And now there's more regulations in place. I don't know if when they rebuild, they're going to have to follow the new regulations, which may be more strict, which may not even allow them to rebuild. And I'm a little concerned with will they wanna rebuild there? Some of the areas are really, really bad. Okay, Joel says, "Are Santa Ana winds supposed to pick up again?" I certainly hope not because I think there's small containment of the fires now. Strong winds will ignite a new massive wave of fires. I think, and I'm not a weatherman either, you guys, but from what I have heard is that, um oops, sorry. What I have heard is that the winds got bad last night, but I think they've calmed down since then. Okay, Pinky says, "My auto insurance already spiked for 2025." Yeah, mine did as well. The problem is that so many insurance companies have been pulling out of California over the past several years. And I feel like they have to. I don't feel like they're like, haha, let's stick it to Californians. But like, if you're a business owner, what are you going to do? Like, if also, like, maybe that's the responsible thing to say, "Hey, I know I'm not gonna be able to pay out on this claim if you file it, so I have to close up shop." That might be I don't know, like, on the one hand, I don't wanna leave homeowners exposed to danger, and on the other hand, the insurance company needs to be able to pay the claim if you file it. So I don't know what the balance there is. Oh no. Troy and Joey says that they heard that the winds are supposed to pick back up. I thought that was last night. I hope that was last night. Okay. Um Troy and Joey is saying that yep, the home and auto doubled. My auto didn't double, but my homeowner's insurance tripled. Cindy says, I never understood why you always wanted your taxes to go up for everything. And I think Cindy means like you, as in California. It's not like me personally. It looks like the California state and local government are misspending the funds. And that's something that's so tricky. And again, I don't have the answer for. And I do try and think about everybody, but I don't think anybody really wants our taxes to go up, but they tell you things like, do you want to spend 3 cents more per gallon of gas in order to like retrofit schools and make them safe for children to attend the school? So basically, the way I understand it is like, of course, if I know that a school is unsafe, I would want to spend 3 extra cents per gallon of gas. My car only takes, and I don't even know if it quite works exactly like that. This is an example. It's not a real life example. I don't know if they fix schools with taxes on gas. But sometimes they do. Sometimes they do it with taxes on cigarettes. Sometimes they do it by raising sales tax. Um, but I am under the impression, right? And I'm not a not a political expert either. I do think that they put it to a vote and they say, "Hey, do you want to pay this much more?" And the thing is, it's like 20 cents here, 3 cents there. But I know myself, and I donate money sometimes, but if I were to receive my whole paycheck, I probably wouldn't donate as much as I should. And so taxes are kind of there to like force us to donate in a way. Um, and in terms of, and so like they make you feel like a jerk if you're like, oh no, I don't want to spend the extra 3 cents a gallon at the pump in order to make sure that schools are safe, right? So, and then I try and think, but like, does everybody have 3 extra cents? And sometimes that answer is yes. Sometimes it's like, do you want to spend $5 more on something, maybe like an auto insurance renewal? And maybe that's the thing that you say, no, I don't know if everybody has $5 more. But it's tricky. And then as far as the misspending, again, I don't envy the politicians. And I think that there's a lot of red tape, right? So there's only so much money in the budget. And maybe when they wrote the law about adding the 3 cents to make the schools safe, maybe costs were different. And then you have things like inflation, and then you can't even do all the things that you wanted to with the money that you were allocated. And maybe, I don't quite know, maybe they don't get the money all up front. And maybe the 3 cents a gallon, maybe that's not enough to even fix all the schools that need fixing. So then you have to figure out, okay, well, which schools have the biggest population and let's fix those first. And then sometimes, then sometimes you're only approved to hire like certain companies, and then sometimes those companies are booked out really far in advance. And I'm not saying that there's not misspending, because there absolutely is. An example that my mom likes to give, my grandma was in like an old folks home, and it was funded by the state. My grandma was no longer walking anymore, but they bought her like new shoes. And my mom's like, what does she even need shoes for? Like, she's not walking around. Like, she could just have like the hospital grippy socks, you know? Um, but things like that. Um, Maybe my grandma didn't need shoes. I don't know. Okay, Pinky said, I paid just under 1900 for full coverage auto with high limits on OEM replacement plus renter's insurance. The same policies for 2025 went up to almost 2,400. And I'll need to look at my homeowner's insurance. Actually, I was thinking it was like November, December when I was talking about that, but I think it was in April, when my policy expired and I had to switch. And even the policy that I switched to, I think I read it to you. Is it still somewhere over here? It basically was like, hey, we're a shady overseas company and we're probably just going to close up shop if you have a real emergency anyway. But this technically satisfies your bank's requirement for you to have insurance. That's not what it said, but that seemed to be the gist of what it said. Okay, Scattershot8 says, good to see me here. Wishing the best for me, the community, the first responders, and the local leaders. Yeah. And I want to read someone else's comment that I skipped over earlier. But Joel said, Karen Bass is a disgrace and should resign as mayor. It's her fault cutting funding to the fire department. It's so tricky, though. I'm not sure. Oh, Bonnie, you were close to that fire too. It was put out in a few hours. Oh, that's amazing. The way I was showing it was made it seem like it was going at least overnight and more than 24 hours, but I'm so glad. And then one of those water drops was just amazing that they did. Okay. So, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. It's weird to ask you guys to like this video, but if you're enjoying the conversation, let's do this. Francis, look at my hair. Francis says, oh, hell no. I need to do some self-care in 2025. So I'm gonna go get my hair cut, and I think I'm gonna do it like a strawberry blonde, like Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl. Okay, let me see here what I was gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna add this back. And again, I'm so sorry to anybody who, is experiencing any type of loss. And I'm going to say one of these things for validation and support. No one deserves this, right? No one deserves this. Okay. But let's look at the Humane Society's page. Humane Society Pasadena. The good news is I think that a lot of people are coming together to offer support, and I think they've had a lot of physical donations, but more and more keep cropping up. Okay, let's see what sort of help they need. Oh my god. Okay. They're no longer accepting any additional items. The generosity, they're fully stocked and unable to store additional items without impairing their operations. They still need monetary donations. So let's look at that. Oh no, I cannot watch this video. Look at that little this good boy. Oh my goodness. They've taken and I will say that one of my friends who had to evacuate, they ended up they had to drop off their animals with the Humane Societies. The Humane Society is Francis, where did you tell me you live? Are you okay? They had to drop their animals off at the Humane Society while they evacuated. Let's read what the big she says. With the fires, insurance payouts for both home insurance and car insurance claims, I think inevitably we will see another double in both home insurance and perhaps even car insurance premiums in 2025. We certainly could, I don't think that there's limits on that. It would almost be nice if there could be limits on it, like how they, put a cap on how much they can, like rent control. I wish that there was insurance control. And I hope that what I've heard about insurance is not true, and that return to donate. And I hope that, the insurance companies at least temporarily staff up, hire extra people to deal with these claims. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay. The Humane Society has taken in over 400 animals from the Eaton fire emergency. We're in desperate need of monetary donations to help us. Don't cry. Okay. To help us purchase medical supplies and other resources as we start to see a significant increase in the number of burned and injured animals. The animals are suffering from smoke inhalation, singed paw burns, dehydration, and more. We've been treating each animal based on their needs. They've been providing care as needed. The best way to help is to donate. This will give us the flexibility to cover critical expenses like medical care, facility maintenance, and support for life-saving programs that ensure every animal has the best chance at a happy ending. This is a human and animal tragedy on an unimaginable scale, and we're only learning to begin the full impact. Oh my goodness. Let me see what kind of information it needs. Okay, it needs too much information from me to put it all in there, but I am going to be doing a donation to the Pasadena Humane Society. And, oh, actually, it never, I just want to do it while you guys are here. That's the page it's doing. Oops. Okay, it's not sharing this tab, so I can go ahead and type in my information while you guys. So I'm going to donate. It actually looks like it will let me put this on a credit card. Now, I'm not putting it on a credit card in order to. I'm not putting it on a credit card because I can't afford it. I'm putting it on a credit card just because I'm between paychecks right now. So I think since it will let me put it on a credit card, I think I can go ahead. It's suggesting $100. It's suggesting $110 to kind of cover some fees. So I think that I'm able to go ahead and do that. And let's see here. So I'm going to choose credit card. Oh, I gotta go get my credit card though. Okay. All right. And then I think I'm gonna donate to the Red Cross as well. Let me see. I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis shared some resources. Maybe I'm gonna have to actually do that later. Oh. Sorry, I'm looking for some other like basically tips and tricks that I read. But I don't see them. Okay. Okay, so let me go back to the Fire page. Let me see if I can change it to, nope, there's Google Pay, but there's not Apple Pay. That's so weird. Google Pay? All right, I'm going to come back to that. Let's go to the Red Cross. Ugh. Okay, we're going to show this tab instead. Oh, schedule blood. You can make it. Oops. Small blood donors are needed. I have never donated blood, and I don't even know what kind of blood I have. Oh, this is interesting. Since I'm sharing this page, something like that I would really like to do is get myself and, if possible, my staff CPR certified. Let's look at babysitting and childcare. Let's look at CPR. And I'm going to put in my works zip code because I would love for them to like come to my job and have like us get everybody trained. But like, how much does it cost to do this? Maybe I need to put that on my goals list for 2025. Volunteers are needed. Oh, well. Oh, they have an online class. January 13th. That's tomorrow. Interesting. Let's look at this. We're going to look at these details for this. Adult and pediatric first aid / CPR. Okay, and it's fully in the classroom, which I like because I'm old. It's a little close to the fires. 2021 Adult and Pandemic Pediatric First Aid CPR AED course equips students to recognize and care for a variety of first aid, breathing, and cardiac emergencies involving adults, children, and infants. It is designed for students who need a certification that satisfies OSHA workplace and other regulatory requirements. Upon successful completion, a valid 2-year digital certificate for adult and pediatric first aid CPR is issued. Okay. Why are some of these more money? It just depends on where you go, I guess. Anyway, that's something that I would like to do. So, and I think that's doable to go do a CPR class. So we're definitely putting that on the 2025 to goals list. Scattershot ACEs. I have donated blood, and they will tell you when they prick your finger. Because I was just saying that I don't know what my blood type is. Okay. So that is something that I would like to do. Okay. Scattershot 8 says, if our resident mechanic is here, do I have any thoughts? That would be Joel on a 2018 Audi A4. My old regional director used to have an Audi. I'm gonna say I think that's a German-made car. I think that makes them you have to take them to a different repair shop, like a repair shop that specializes in German-made cars, and then I also think that you have to put the premium gas in, um those cars, and I think they're a little bit more to insure. So those are just some things to take into consideration. It is certainly not everything. I think we're looking at do they wind up in the repair shop a lot? That's probably more important. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to let you guys know that I promise that when I get off of this live today, I'm going to go dig out my credit cards and I am going to make some donations, and the only reason why I'm putting it on credit card instead of my bank account is right now I'm at the week between paychecks, so I only have I still have paycheck to paycheck, you guys. So I only have about $200 in my bank account. And I always want to have at least 100 in there just in case of emergencies or anything like that. Um I don't worry about having much more than $100. I only worry about, like, having enough for a little bit of gas and things like that. I am fortunate that I have credit cards that I know, like, if I needed to stay somewhere or, um, something like that, if I had a tire blow or needed car maintenance, luckily I have credit cards that I could put that on. When I make my donations and I put them on credit card, it's literally I'll wait till the billing cycle is over to pay it, but, I will set that money aside once I get my next paycheck. Okay. Oh, Cindy, I don't know if I can. Okay. Cindy says I could volunteer at a pet shelter. Even if you just sit or walk with the animal, it would help. The thing is, I am so, like, sensitive. This is something I've thought about a lot. But I am so sensitive. I don't think I can stomach seeing, like, an injured animal. It's gonna break my heart. I don't know if I could do it, and I definitely like, what if they let you know when it's an animal's last day? I don't know if I could do it. When I've had my own pets, um, my best friend and I, we put a cat down to sleep during the pandemic when they wouldn't even let you go into the clinic, and that was one of the worst things, but they did let us in while they were putting the cat to sleep, but all the beds and things were taken for other animals, and I literally I wasn't given a choice. I would have been in the room with the cat, but, like, I had to hold him while they were giving the shot. There was, like, nothing clean to, like, lay him on. So I held the cat while they were putting him down. Oh, hi, Andrew. Andrew said, prayers to everyone who lost their home in the fire. This tragic event will take years to recover, but I know the community is strong and will work together. And we've really seen people coming together on this, so that's good. Okay, Pinky says, speaking of living paycheck to paycheck, President Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act on the 5th. The WEP and the GPO have been eliminated. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? Okay, let's show for good old times, let's go ahead and let's look at the EDD. I bet I had it bookmarked. I definitely did, and I didn't go there. Okay. Let's make sure I'm sharing the right page. Okay. The Los Angeles fires, they have a whole tab. Go to ca.gov/LA fires for wildfire tips and the latest information. We'll probably do that in a second. We are your EDD. When you turn to us, we have a program or resource that can help from time to bond with your newborn, support to find a job, resources to focus on your recovery after an injury or illness, or the guidance and support to manage a successful business in California. Uh, oh, interesting. There's still a backlog of claims, more than 21 days. There's 3,300 people who are waiting. It's job links. All right. Let's EDD next, improving your experience, essentials needs, help fighting fraud, public records request, disaster related services. That's probably the one we're going to click. California Office of the Small Business Advocate, quick statistics, the Federal Unemployment Tax Act, and proposed regulations. Should we look at the proposed regulations? All right. Okay, interesting. I get sidetracked. It's been a minute since I've been on the EDD website, which is good, but oh, there's a lot. We recommend the adoption, amendment, or repeal of the following regulations. For information on how to submit comments, refer to specific notice of proposed rulemaking. To view regulations corresponding documents, select it from the following list. Notice of proposed new rulemaking, the 2016 report to Congress on health IT progress, text of proposed regulatory action, initial statement of reasons, notice of regulation change, second notice of regulation change, and the final statement of reasons. Recently adopted regulations, the Family Temporary Disability Insurance qualifying Exenshi? What is that? Date filed with state September 26, 2024, and it went into effect on January 1st. The OAL approval and final text of regulations. Okay, so I'll probably dig into some of that a little bit more. I will say that I also got the news release that the EDD now does offer direct deposit. That would have been so nice when we were all waiting for everything. Let's look at this dashboard for a second. Ba, 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 ba. I wish we were no longer. I wonder how long it'll be since March 2020 starts to fall off of this information. Okay, total unemployment claims filed. We're going to go back to the disaster related services. All right, EDD disaster related services. I'm going to read it just like old times, guys. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't smile when I say that. I enjoyed being able to help people during that time. Okay, so EDD disaster related services. The California Employment Development Department, the EDD, provides a variety of services to individuals and businesses affected by disasters in California. EDD staff assist at local assistance centers or disaster recovery centers established by the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, the Cal OES, or federal authorities. For additional information related to disaster-related assistance for public health services, visit California Health and Human Services Resource Guide. Employer support services may also be available, along with disability insurance and paid family leave benefits to eligible workers. For more information, visit Disaster Related Services FAQ. I'm going to put a pin in that because I want to go back there. The waiting week for unemployment benefits is waived. Generally, there is a 1-week waiting period for individuals obtaining unemployment. The governor's emergency proclamations waive the non-payable 1-week waiting period for a regular UI benefit payments to eligible individuals affected by current disasters. This means individuals can be paid for benefits for the first week they are unemployed due to a disaster. So there are probably already people needing to apply for unemployment benefits. And don't forget, like when we're looking at the reporting numbers, it's going to lag by at least a month. The UI program provides partial wage replacement benefits to workers who lose their jobs or have their hours reduced through no fault of their own. Learn more about the unemployment insurance program and eligibility requirements for collecting benefits, extensions for employers to file and pay payroll taxes. Employers directly affected by a disaster may request up to a 2-month extension of time from the EDD to file their state payroll reports and or deposit state payroll taxes without penalty or interest. A written request for extension must be received within 2 months from the original delinquent date of the payment or return. For more information about how to request an extension and other employer assistance available, visit Emergency and Disaster Assistance for Employers. You can also learn about assistance available through the Internal Revenue Service Help During Disasters webpage. Current state declared disasters are the Los Angeles County, Palisades, Eaton, Hearst, Lydia, and Woodley fires for claims between 1-5. The waiting week is waived for that. There's no federal disaster unemployment assistance. And there might be an extension for employers to file and pay payroll taxes. Los Angeles County, the Sunset Fire, there's none at this time. It's not waived. There's a Ventura County windstorm, the Lake County boil fires, there's a bridge fire, the airport fire, the line fire. There's too many fires, guys. The Boral fire, the park fire, winter storms, and winter storms. Oh, that was from 2024. That's weird that that's still up there, but okay. Oh, because sometimes people wait a really long time to file their claims. Okay, let's scroll back up. What was that I wanted to go ahead and click? Disaster related services FAQs. Okay, I'm gonna take another sip of coffee. I'm gonna see if you guys have questions. Okay, Pinky says this is about Social Security. Yes, it's a very good thing for those of us who are going to be penalized for getting a government pension. Great. From jobs that we didn't pay into Social Security and also had jobs we did pay into Social Security. Okay, good. The elimination of the then WEP and GPO mean we will get our full Social Security benefits, not a reduced benefit. This also includes survivors and beneficiaries who are getting benefits from a government pension. Okay. Rocky, yeah, are you safe? Hi, Shelly. It's such a sad time here in California. It really is. It really is. I am going to say one thing, because you guys know I work in a movie theater, and the movie theater is open. And movies have always been somewhere that people can go to escape, to take their mind off of things. So it might be a good day to go out and support your local movie theater. Okay. And Rocky, I'm talking about earlier I was looking, I'd like to, on my goals list, I want to take a CPR class this year, I think. And I'll be donating some money to both the Red Cross and the Pasadena Humane Society. Okay. You're safe there, and me and Mama Million stay safe. We are. Okay. So back to these unemployment disaster-related services FAQs. What if I can't get to work or my workplace closed due to the disaster? If you lost your job or had your hours reduced due to a disaster, we encourage you to apply for unemployment insurance benefits. If you meet the requirements, you can receive benefit payments that equal up to half of the pay you've lost. Be sure to mention the disaster that has affected you in your application for benefits. I'm going to go back and say that when I first applied for my insurance benefits, my unemployment benefits back in the pandemic, I didn't cite a disaster. My boss did. I didn't. It all worked out okay in the end. But definitely, if you're applying right now, make sure to choose that it was because of those fires. Benefits are paid every other week as long as you remain unemployed and otherwise eligible. For more information, visit the unemployment insurance or contact unemployment by phone. What does waiting week for unemployment benefits mean? Generally, there is a 1-week waiting period if you are applying for unemployment benefits. The governor's emergency proclamation waives that waiting period if you have been impacted by the disaster, so you can be paid benefits for the first week you are unemployed. For more information, visit unemployment insurance or contact UIB by phone. Be sure to mention the disaster that has affected you in your application for benefits. I'm an employer. What if I had to shut down operations? Employers directly affected by a disaster can request up to a 2-month extension of time from the EDD to file their state payroll reports and or deposit state payroll taxes without penalty or interest. The EDD must receive a written request for the extension within 2 months from the original delinquent date of the payment or return. For more information, visit Emergency and Disaster Assistance for Employers and Help During Disasters on the IRS website. What if I was injured during the disaster? Disability insurance provides partial wage replacement benefits to eligible California workers who are unable to work due to a non-work related illness, injury, or pregnancy. If you were injured by the disaster, you might be eligible for disaster insurance benefits. And for more information, visit disability insurance or contact DI by phone. What if I need to care for a family member who was injured in the disaster? Paid family leave provides benefits if you lose wages when you need to take time off to care for a seriously ill child, parent, parent-in-law, grandparent, grandchild, sibling, spouse, or registered domestic partner. If you need to care for a family member injured in the disaster, you may be eligible for paid family leave benefits. For more information, visit Paid Family Leave or contact Paid Family Leave by phone. What if I lost my job due to a disaster and have to find a new one? After a disaster, workforce services, unemployment insurance, and tax representatives will often be available at local assistance centers that may be set up by state and local officials. They offer a wide range of job search assistance and employer support services, as well as general support, referrals, and resources. You can also use CalJobs, California's online job exchange system, or visit a local America's Job Center of California, which is actually just the same as the EDD, as a resource. Okay. I'm really interested about FEMA. Would it be a good idea to contact FEMA? Don't they give $700 for the first week of living expenses? So I'm way less familiar with FEMA, but I do believe that they offer $700. I'm going to go to Jamie Lee Curtis's Instagram page because she had a lot of really good information. Let's follow this person. I'm not following them. We're going to follow them. Search Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, we're going to follow Jamie Lee Curtis. No, I don't. Oh, no. So they're saying that, like, okay, this is hard. Okay. Financial gifts they're asking for the Red Cross. I can't, dude. Except apparently, okay, let's see what's in her stories. I thought that she had more resources. No, she doesn't have any reels. Okay. Is there a way to have volume on this? What's going on?
The community recover. Today, a California native and Oscar-winning actress Jamie Lee Curtis announced that her family is pledging $1 million to help with the relief effort. Last night, I had the chance to sit down with her and talk about the fires, the legacy of Jimmy Carter, and so much more. Here's tonight's keynote conversation.
It's a catastrophic fire. I live in the Pacific Palisades. My home is safe. I live in a canyon directly next to this catastrophe. The canyon I live in today is intact and has been spared. But the community of the Pacific Palisades has been decimated.
You posted on social media, please post facts.
Well, because what happens, here we are in a society of, it's the information, technical, digital society. And yet all you get are these harrowing images of hillsides on fire and a lot of innuendo, a lot of rumors, a lot of this is burning, that is burning. What I couldn't find were facts.
The timing of you even posting that is interesting because Mark Zuckerberg, who runs Facebook, Instagram, Meta, announced they're actually going to get rid of their fact-checking business, their efforts. How concerned are you, right, that we're in this time when we're already struggling to find facts? Now those guardrails on the things that we love, right? You love social media. I love social media.
Well, I don't love it.
You use it. Sorry.
No.
You use it.
I use it solely for a purpose, and that is to sell something. My secret for anybody listening is you don't read any comments, ever. The whole idea is it's a portal. This is what I think and want to say, and you're welcome to join me or not. I am concerned that the guardrails are not just fact-checking on social media. The guardrails are we've lost language.
Yeah.
Words do not mean what they mean. Language is this means this. And when we lose it in a political landscape, where if you tell me, oh, this is a fantastic orange table, wow, I love it. Where did you get this orange table? If enough people believe that.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if you guys could hear that. And then two, it kind of seemed to go off on talking about fact checking on Meta and Facebook. So let's just try and go right over to the FEMA website. The reason why I'm a little bit nervous about FEMA, and I don't know, right? I don't know, is that I've heard a couple of things. And Cindy, I can't remember where you live, but you guys know I'm a fan of a big YouTuber, Mr. Beast, right? So Mr. Beast has a guy on his team, Sean Hendricks, and Sean Hendricks is helping with people who have is it North Carolina or is it South Carolina? Hang on, let me Google Sean Hendricks for a second. Sean Hendricks is what he is on Instagram. Dang it. He talks about FEMA said that they were going to do one thing and then they didn't actually do it, extend people's hotel stays. It's North Carolina that he's trying to help. So FEMA closed their offices ahead of a winter storm. They said they were going to extend people's vouchers and then they didn't. Also, he's saying they're in North Carolina, and then when there were the really bad fires in Hawaii, they were saying that FEMA's trying to do a land grab and the government's trying to do a land grab. And again, I have not researched this, so please do your own research. So supposedly FEMA's there to help you, but then other people say that once you're involved with FEMA, that bad things can happen to your ownership of the land. So just research that. I would kind of how at the beginning of this chat, we posted about how people are trying to scam people during these emergencies. So just please, please, please use caution and do some research. I don't know what happens to property once, or claims or any of that, once you begin accepting aid from FEMA. I always thought they were a good thing until the Hawaii fires was really when I started to hear that they weren't so great and that it was just a government land grab. And then everything that he's an acquaintance. I've met him, a very, very loose acquaintance, but it's talking about how it's kind of a land grab in North Carolina too. I guess like people's property insurance taxes there are due, and like if you don't pay them, then the government can seize the land. And I hate to say this, but I think that could happen in the Palisades and in Eaton Canyon, Pasadena, Altadena as well. You still have to pay your property taxes because you're paying it usually on the land. Ugh, it's terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay. Rocky says, this is when the billionaires of the world should help out and donate. All these people, families, and friends need help because so much is lost. Absolutely. All right. And then Cindy says, you think local legitimate charities are better than national or international charities, just like church food banks are, or are better than government funded food banks. My mom said local is better. Yeah, she did. You're not getting that government cheese. You're getting, sometimes the stuff that Trader Joe's was like a day old bakery items. Yeah, and Rocky, it's so bad. Let me actually just really quickly go back to Instagram, and I'm going to show that post just one more time because I think it's important. I think probably I have a little bit of different audience at the end of, yeah. Oh, you guys are saying that the wind is picking up, and yep, that's what they're saying. Okay. Windstorm debris. Oh, windstorm debris, not that the wind is actually picking up. Okay. So this is what it said. Avoid getting scammed after a disaster. And I'm sure that this is information for people in the Palisades as well. If your home has been damaged after disaster, you may be susceptible to scammers trying to take advantage of you during this vulnerable time. Be cautious before hiring a contractor or signing any document, and use available resources for advice. And then, okay, wait. There's more over here on the side. Okay, follow these tips to protect yourself from being exploited. Avoid rushing into repairs no matter how badly they are needed. And oh, yep, this is the next thing. I was always taught in my business, Shelly, you have to get 3 estimates. We didn't always have to go with the cheaper one. A lot of times we did. But if you get 3 estimates, because sometimes contractors and repair people are also just guessing. They're trying to make an educated guess, and you assume that they're more educated than you, but you don't necessarily know for sure. But if you get 3 bids, you're not just looking for price, you're looking for, are these vendors telling you the same consistent thing is wrong? Like, oh, does my air conditioning need more Freon? Does my air conditioner need more Freon? Does my air conditioner need more Freon? And if all 3 of them say that your air conditioning unit needs more Freon, guess what? It probably needs more Freon. And then you're going to submit the bids, and you're going to say, this person was middle of the line, but they'll guarantee their work. They'll guarantee that you won't have a Freon leak for a year. So then maybe you do that. So you really have to look into that. Okay, Cindy says she's from Indiana. The state in the past, when a natural disaster hit, people were given extra time to pay state income taxes. This is true since I work for the state. Yeah, and I think that'll happen, hopefully. I don't know what happened in North Carolina. I know that disaster happened a while ago. Okay. So, let's keep reading a few of those tips, because that is their second tip, is to get multiple bids before selecting a contractor. Be cautious about door-to-door offers of repair services or flyers that are left at your property. Ask trusted friends, family, and associates for recommendations about contractors that they have hired. And I still like Angie's List. I've used that, and I like that. You can use Yelp, but sometimes the reviews seem like they're not accurate. Get proof that the person you're dealing with has a contractor license for the type of work that needs to be done. Get a written contract that details every aspect of the work plan. Contact the contractor's state license board at 1-800-321-2752 to check a contractor's license or get further information on home and property. It says pairs, but I think that's supposed to say repairs. And more information is available at cslb.ca.gov. Some of the comments say don't sell your property either. And somebody else says it's sad to see that that post even has to exist. Okay, let's go back to the FEMA website really quick. Okay. And Rocky says, exactly, you got to be careful and hope you get the right people who truly want to help others in need. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Common. Hold on. How do we get back to that? The wildfires, it says financial assistance is available for individuals in Los Angeles County who have disaster related needs due to the ongoing fires, and you can apply for assistance. Help for individuals and families. Apply for disaster assistance through disasterassistance.gov, through the FEMA mobile app, or by calling the FEMA helpline. If you use a video relay service, caption telephone, or other communication services, please provide FEMA the specific number of applied. After applying for assistance, your request is reviewed to determine if an inspection is needed to verify disaster-related damage to your home and personal property. FEMA staff and inspectors may contact you to discuss your disaster-caused damage. FEMA may also request more information to support your claim, basically. How to appeal FEMA's decision if you don't agree with it. Get answers to frequently asked questions about emergency shelters. You know what? I want to read the common disaster related rumors. Just because because I'm curious, you guys. Okay. There are often many rumors and scams after a disaster. Do your part to stop the spread of rumor by doing 3 easy things. Find trusted sources of information. And you guys know that for the most part, I like .gov websites. Share information from trusted sources, like .gov websites. Discourage others from sharing information from unverified sources. Rumors about common disaster scams and how to report fraud. Use the okay. Rumor: FEMA only provides a one-time payment when you apply for assistance. This is false. FEMA reviews each disaster assistance application individually to determine the types of assistance you are eligible to receive. Your unique situation determines the amount of assistance you might receive. There's often misleading claims that FEMA will only provide a set amount of assistance to every person who applies. Amounts commonly stated in these misleading claims include $500, $750, and $1,000. It's important to remember that FEMA assistance is not one size fits all, and the assistance you received is based on the information you provide when you apply. You may even receive multiple checks from FEMA of varying amounts, ranging from several $100s to several $1,000s. Many scams also claim that you can call a phone number to receive a cash payment from FEMA. Be careful of those scams. They are often designed to steal your money by pretending to be FEMA. FEMA's official disaster assistance helpline is 1-800-621-3362. Once again, that number is 1-800-621-3362. Rumor: FEMA will take my property and land after a disaster. This is false. FEMA cannot seize your property or land. After applying for disaster assistance, does not grant FEMA or the federal government authority or ownership of your property or land. Applying for it doesn't. When you apply for disaster assistance, a FEMA inspector may be sent to verify the damage of your home. This is one of the many factors reviewed to determine what kind of assistance you may be eligible for. If the results of the inspection state that your home is uninhabitable, that your information is only used to determine the amount of FEMA assistance you may receive to make your home safe, sanitary, and functional. So maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. So they're saying it's not true, and this is a government-run website, and it's saying that they don't take your land. Rumor. But they might declare your land uninhabitable, and I think that is like, that's some of what's going on in North Carolina from what my acquaintance Sean Hendricks has said. So like, there were people that built too close to like a creek, and now they're saying like, oh, we can not give you any money to rebuild, and we will not allow you to rebuild because you're too close to the creek. And I do expect, unfortunately, that things like that are going to come up in the Palisades fire. Perhaps, I'm not sure about the Altadena fire, but again, we were talking about that a little bit earlier on this live, that there is, like, the codes have changed, right? The more we know, the more we can say, it's not a good idea to let you build on that hill that could slide. And then I think, I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this. I'm just remembering that we're going into our winter. And I think, isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, isn't it that after there's fires, like, so now there's like loose ground and loose debris, and then the next time it rains, there's, normally there's like trees and vegetation, like the drops of rain land on the trees first before they hit the ground, and it kind of like dissipates the water. But all those trees are gone in a lot of those areas. So now it's just that water. Yeah. Mudslides. Right. I'm not a weather expert. Like, I want to be positive. I don't want to be like, oh my God, no, there's going to be mudslides. But like, I don't think all this debris is going to be clear by the time we get our next heavy rain, and we're just starting our winter. It's also tricky because, is it just me? And again, didn't they tell us to like water our lawns less? Like, is there something, and I'm sure that they're all wondering that too, right? And I'm not saying that any homeowners did anything wrong, but was there something that people could have done to prevent this? Thank you, Rocky. Like, I don't like thinking about that. But anyway, now there's the potential next time we have heavy rains that there could be mudslides, and that's going to make that land even less likely, in my opinion, for insurance companies, for FEMA, for the government to say, yes, it's safe to rebuild. So it's tricky too. And we're seeing this in the same, what's that other area? And it's really nice. And it's just the Pacific Palisades. No, not the Pacific Palisades. What, Palos Verdes, where they built on a hill, and the hill, it's like a cliff, and the cliff is deteriorating from the weather, from the rain, and like whole houses have collapsed. And you kind of think, well, I've lived here my whole life. I've driven up the street my whole life. It's been fine my whole life. But the conditions are changing, and it may not be safe to build where they were before. And I don't know how that happens. And maybe that's what they're saying is the land grab. And I don't know what happens if you have, maybe this is it. And I don't know. So this is like I'm just trying to think about like what would maybe cause the rumor, right? And I don't know. So please, like, this is not confirmed. This is just a theory that I just came up with right now on the spot. Potentially, maybe people are saying that FEMA does a land grab because maybe if FEMA goes in and declares the land uninhabitable, then maybe the insurance company that you're with also, because I think you can get money from both. But then maybe the insurance company says, well, hey, you had FEMA told you can't build there. I don't know if just a regular insurance company would say, hey, no, you can't build there. Like if you never reach out to FEMA, I don't know if the insurance company would say the same thing or if the insurance company, and then there's going to be comments that say, well, why would you build where you knew that could happen anyway? So if FEMA does come in and they say, no, I'm so sorry, like it's not safe to build here anymore, would you still want to? But that is the only thing that I could think of where they're saying maybe it's a land grab, where they're like, no, this isn't safe anymore. And sometimes I think knowledge is a double-edged sword, because probably back when they bought those houses, I would assume that they didn't know the risk of building in those areas, right? But now that you know the risk, do you still do it? Like, not that long ago, seatbelts were not required in cars, right? And not that long ago, like car seats for older children were not required. Like I remember my grandma putting her arm out in front of me to stop me from like going forward, like when I was little in the front seat of the car. So once you learn the benefits, do you just ignore them and go back? I don't know. Okay, Cindy worked for the state of Indiana. So I'm very curious, like what you have to say about this, Cindy. Cindy says, in some areas, the government has taken land when houses are determined to be in a floodplain after a flood. That happened near the Mississippi. Yeah, but are they doing it for the greater good? And that's got to be so hard to see. If you've lost your home, it's properly insured, you're trying to get help, you want to rebuild, and then the government says, I'm sorry, no, you're not allowed to. So maybe the land is still yours, but if you can't build on it, like it's not worth anything. I don't think it just automatically reverts to the government though. They're just saying like, hey, like, yeah, it's yours, enjoy your plot of dirt, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Another rumor is FEMA handing out vouchers for disaster assistance. This is false. FEMA does not hand out vouchers for disaster assistance. It's common after disasters for rumors to circulate online and through text messages claiming FEMA will be at certain locations handing out vouchers for hotel stays, rental assistance, food, or other disaster services. To receive FEMA assistance, you must first submit an application on disasterassistance.gov by calling 1-800-621-3362 or in person at a disaster recovery center. Applying through these official channels will ensure your information is secure. You only need to apply once, and the information you provide in that application will help FEMA determine what assistance you are eligible for out of the many types of disaster assistance. And again, it's saying like, it protect yourself against scams. Cindy, I'm also curious. Do you have any knowledge about how long it takes after you file, for 2 questions, if you know the answer, and it may work different in different states, but I'm just curious if you know, and if you don't, that's okay too. The first question is, do you know if you can get help to rebuild from both FEMA and your insurance company? And then my second question, so can double dip essentially? Can you get money from your insurance company and get money from FEMA? And then the second question is, on average, do you know how long, it would take, like how long, let's say your insurance claim is approved, FEMA says you can and FEMA says, yes, it's okay to build there. Do you have any idea of a timeline? That's something that I've wondered about. Also, like, how long is all this going to take? I don't even know if we have enough construction workers and things. I think that's going to be a great industry for people to go into. That's something I've always been curious about. I don't think I could climb a ladder and like get up on a roof, and like I don't carry heavy bags of concrete or anything. But like maybe I could be a project manager, construction project manager. I could make sure that electrical boxes were installed correctly or something. Okay, Cindy said they pay the landowner and make the land into a park, but they don't pay you like what they pay you is probably not nearly what you originally purchased the property for, right? That might be why they say it's a land grab. I don't know. Okay. Pinky says there is a house around the corner for me that someone bought and has not been able to live in because the cliff it sits on is not stable or safe. Buyer is now suing everyone for his due diligence fail. I'm going to be honest though. Here's the thing, right? I'm going to be really, really honest. When I bought this house, it's not in perfect condition. It's not like dilapidated or anything like that, but there were probably some repairs. It's not unsafe to live in, but like I can see a crack in the foundation. I can literally go outside and see it. Maybe I'll share a picture later, but I can see it, and I think they told me about it. But my logic went, first of all, my house is very, very small. Even if it like fell off the foundation, I think it would be okay. It's not going to fall very far. It's like, and it's been around for almost 100 years. So I think it's, feels like it's going to be okay. But that probably does mean that they're not going to replace it. Like, oh, well, you knew about it. It was disclosed to you before you bought it. It might make it harder for me to get my insurance claim paid out if I were to have one. My house is okay. But you think, well, somebody else lived there for all those years, so it'll be okay if I live there. And it would suck. It sucks, right? As a person, if like this was the house I could afford. Could I afford one that had a not cracked foundation and everything was perfect when I bought it? No, I could not. But I have lived here for more than 12 years and it's been fine. So I'm lucky, but it probably means that I wouldn't get as much if something were to happen to it. Cindy said that would be a federal employee question. Fair, completely fair. Cindy, I appreciate the honesty, but it may be that the government pays for the land, but insurance pays for the house. Oh, that could be. That's interesting. Could be. We don't know, but thank you for sharing that. Okay. And then Pinky says, house STIs on an oceanfront cliff. Did you meant to say, sits on an oceanfront cliff. Continual erosion and the changes to the cliffside have been noticeable over the years. Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to also say that this crack in my foundation that I can see, I didn't see it when I first bought the house because there was landscape had built up in this house over the time it was for sale. And so it was only after I cleared away some of the brush and things that I could like see it. I also see like about this much of the house, like there was so much like brush and everything, that like this much of the house is a complete different color down there than like the majority of the house. So yeah, it was definitely covered. So I couldn't like just see, oh yeah, there's a foundation crack. They were like, oh yeah, you might now want to replace your foundation. I was like, yeah, no, whatever. Somebody else has been living here for 80 years and they've been fine. I think it's not, I wanted the house. I wanted a house, and this was the house I could afford. Casa Millions is worth billions since I'm a YouTuber. The house of a YouTuber. I wish. You guys, my friend Phidias is in politics, and he just got engaged. So that's kind of awesome for him. Okay. I'm still interested in these myths and rumors on FEMA. Okay, rumor. I can be paid $3,000 a week to assist with storm cleanup. Hey guys, this is false. FEMA is not paying people weekly to assist with cleanup. However, during some disasters, FEMA may provide a one-time grant to individuals to help them clean up their homes. That's their own home. To find out if you qualify, apply on disasterassistance.gov. Because guys, if they're going to pay if they were going to pay $3,000 a week to assist with cleanup, like, hey, 369, that'd be $12,000 a month. I'll buy some new knees with that and a new back. Rumor. If you receive a grant from FEMA, you will get less money from Social Security. I have heard that. This is not true, though. FEMA assistance is not taxable and will not affect your eligibility for Social Security, Medicaid, or other federal benefits. Rumor. Survivors can't apply if they have insurance. This is not true. If you have insurance, you can apply for FEMA assistance, but you must file an insurance claim as well. FEMA cannot help with expenses your insurance might cover until you send us your insurance settlement or denial, but FEMA may be able to assist with other losses insurance won't cover. If insurance does not cover the entire cost of disaster-related expenses and your settlement was less than the maximum amount of money FEMA can provide for that loss, you may be eligible for FEMA assistance. So that sounds like it's saying, like, let's say my house cost $130,000 to buy. So let's say that the most FEMA could pay in my zip code is $200,000. So maybe if my insurance company only paid me $100,000, I don't think FEMA would pay me all the way up to $200,000, but maybe they could pay me like the $30,000 that I bought the house for. I don't know. Rumor, I am automatically registered for FEMA assistance if I reported damage to my local parish, county officials, or a disaster relief organization. This is not true. To be considered for federal disaster assistance, you must apply directly with FEMA. I feel like I should probably do a dedicated video on this. Do I have time and energy to do that? I don't know. Rumor, my homeowner's insurance includes flood insurance. This is not true. I can speak to that. It's definitely not true. Homeowners insurance policies do not normally cover flood damage. Flood insurance is typically a separate policy. Visit the National Flood Insurance Program page to purchase flood insurance to find out more. Since we're talking about insurance, I'm just going to mention this for me personally. Maybe it's time to add that back in. When I first bought this house, and this almost made me not buy the house, there kept being like little things like, oh, your foundation cracked. And they wanted me to buy an oven. And there was nothing in here, and this whole kitchen needed to be like gutted and redone. And I was like, I don't even, back in the day, I don't know if it's still popular, but stainless steel appliances were really popular when I was buying this house. And I thought I wanted stainless steel, but now I've read that it gets fingerprints and stuff really bad. So now I don't know if I want stainless steel. Plus, like, I feel like white, they say makes the room look bigger. And since my house is so small, having white appliances, I think is perfect for me. I don't want to clean off fingerprints off my fridge every day. And I like my small space to feel as big as it possibly can. So they told me I needed an oven, and I freaked. I was like, I'm going to tear the whole kitchen apart. Like, why do I need an oven? And somehow, like, having an oven already here says, yes, this is a real kitchen and it's a real house, so we can really finance it. So I went to a used appliance store 12 years ago. I just realized this. I went to a used appliance store. There's two near my house, and they're both good. And I bought a used oven, I think for $100, and I put it in. It's not where it first was. Also, there are 3 different gas lines in my freaking kitchen. 2 of them are actually, one of them's capped now because I have a washer dryer in there. So my washer dryer uses one, and then my oven uses another one. And I don't know why I would have a 3rd gas line that's capped in my kitchen, but I do. But anyway, okay. So they told me I need an oven. I got a $100 oven 12 years ago. And guess what? That thing is still running fine. I think I've had like a new part put in it, but that's it. So I have the same oven that I had for 12 years ago. Now that I think about it, like, that thing's looking pretty good and it's holding up pretty good. And I'm pretty proud of that purchase now, but I was mad about it at the time because it just seemed like more and more money. Also, I bought this as a short sale, and I found out that there was like they had taken out a second mortgage, so I had to settle with that person as well in order to get the house, and that was like an extra $3,500. So I had to buy an oven I wasn't expecting. I had to settle with this other company for $3,500. I knew it needed a new roof when I bought it. And then the straw that broke the common. Oh, thank you, Uncommon Sense. Uncommon Sense donated $5. I'm just going to roll that in. I really, really, really appreciate that. But Uncommon Sense, you're very welcome. I'm going to roll that into after I get off the live because I didn't bring my credit card in here with me. My purse is sitting on the kitchen table and it didn't take Apple Pay. I'm going to be donating. And I know that Cindy said to do it somewhere local, but I am going to be donating to the Humane Society. And I'm going to be donating to the American Red Cross. And since they both take credit cards, I'm in between paychecks and I thought I was only going to be able to donate $100 total, but I'm going to go ahead and donate $100 to each of those organizations. So I'm going to be able to donate 105. Uncommon Sense, do you have a preference whether you would like that $5 to go to the Pasadena Humane Society or to the American Red Cross? Because I will add your $5 to that donation. So thank you so, so much for your generosity. Okay. And then what else was I going to say? Okay. So my house, when I bought it, I knew that I had to do the roof. They told me about the foundation. I still haven't fixed that. House seems fine. Wait, what? Francis, dark gray. Okay, Uncommon Sense. I will add your $5 to the donation to the Red Cross. I'm still going to donate to the Pasadena Humane Society. Animals need a lot of help that got stuck and lost. Yeah, and there's the thing about like if you live like maybe put like an extra bucket of water or a bowl of water outside because a lot of the animals are coming down out of the canyons and things, and they're going to be looking for water and all of that. Yeah. I am very fortunate that I'm in a position where I'm able to donate that money. A dark gray Samsung. Francis, was that meant for me? Pinky said, okay, I'll get to some of those comments in just a second. And then we've been going for an hour and a half, so I'll probably go pretty soon. What am I trying to say? That when I bought this house, they also told me it was in a flood zone. And my flood zone insurance was an extra $128 a month. And I'm not very close to any like creeks or rivers or anything like that. I feel like I'd be mostly okay. But I don't know. They have since redrawn the flood maps, and I'm no longer in an official flood zone. And I dropped the flood insurance like as soon as I possibly could because I was like, I would rather have the $128 a month. Like that insurance was a lot. Even now, I don't think my insurance is that high. Okay. So Rocky says, I hope it's not a land grab, but awful to know that that's what they do. I'm not saying for sure that that's what they do. But you can't allow, I understand why they wouldn't be able to allow some people to build on land where it's not safe. I hate to say this, but my house may be worth $1 million now. People may be desperate for housing. So when I bought my house about 12 years ago, I paid with everything, I think $135,000, somewhere between 128, which I think on paper is what it was. But then I just mentioned that second mortgage and all that I had to settle. Might have been closer to 135,000. But my house is already appreciated to about like 700,000, I think. And so I don't think this specific house will ever hit that million, maybe not ever, but I don't think anytime soon it would hit that $1 million mark. But yeah, it goes up every year, even without crazy stuff like this. But yeah, all those people are going to need places to live. Rocky said that he saw rent in LA County will go up because of the fires. I think that's probably true. We'll look at a couple things. If you don't know because you didn't bother to know, you're bad, in my opinion. Yeah, and maybe you knew, but you chose to look the other way like I did with the foundation. Like, you hope for the best, you know? It's tricky. Um, Corporations and some people are greedy. Instead of being happy to have no, vacancies, gouge people and prey on their fears and desperations. Yeah, and then because also I read that the population of the Palisades is 21,000. I have not read the population of, like, Altadena. Okay. Uncommon Sense says, "God bless. Please all stay safe." Yes, yes. Um, oh. Dark gray Samsung. Got it. I'm slow sometimes. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah. The house is really appreciated. That also, though, concerns me because a lot of times insurance companies do not pay replacement value. They pay the value that you paid when you bought it. And a lot of people probably are not going to be able to rebuild for that. All right, let's do a little bit more on the FEMA disasters. We're almost done with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and head out for the day. Okay. Okay. Rumor, my homeowner's insurance includes flood insurance. That's the one that we were at. Rumor, a little water wouldn't cause much damage. This is not true. Just 5 inches of water can cause over $25,000 worth of damage. Rumor, FEMA will reimburse me for a generator I purchase. It depends. FEMA may reimburse the purchase if you lost power and the generator was needed to power a medically required piece of equipment, including a refrigerator for required medicines such as insulin. That's good to know, actually, because my mom is diabetic and she lives with me now. So that's interesting. To qualify, you must submit documentation from a medical services provider stating the equipment is medically required. In rare instances, the requirement for a medical need for the generator may be waived, allowing reimbursement for eligible individuals and households who lost power due to disaster. Be sure to check the disaster specific guidance, including if a reimbursement for a generator is being offered for the disaster, if you qualify for this assistance, and the date range in which you can purchase a generator and receive reimbursement. I just noticed that there's actually 3 pages of these rumors. Oh, wait, no. No, this is interesting. Okay, no, I think this is good. No, it's not good, but it's repeating some of this. I don't own a business. Can I apply for a US small business SBA loan? No, don't do it if you don't do it, if you don't own. Okay, rumor, if my application is not approved, there's nothing I can do about it. This is not true. Every applicant has the right to appeal. An appeal is your chance to tell FEMA why you don't agree with the decision the agency made. You may send new or additional information and ask FEMA to change its decision. You must mail or submit your signed appeal letter within 60 days of receiving your decision letter. Rumor, receiving a letter from FEMA stating that I am not approved means I will not receive any assistance. It depends. When you receive a letter that states your application is not approved or incomplete, you can check your status online or call FEMA helpline 800-621-3362 for more information. This letter may mean that the more information is needed or that your insurance claim needs to be settled before FEMA disaster assistance can be granted. Rumor, you must be a U.S. citizen to apply for federal assistance. This is not true. FEMA may provide financial assistance to eligible U.S. citizens, non-citizen nationals, and qualified aliens. When available, life-sustaining resources such as shelter, food and water, crisis counseling, disaster case management, disaster supplemental nutrition assistance program, and disaster legal services are available to disaster survivors regardless of citizenship and immigration status. So that's something else. If you're out of work and you're thinking about applying for unemployment during this, you might also qualify for SNAP. Okay, rumor. If I receive a grant from FEMA, I have to pay it back. This is not true. In most cases, FEMA grants do not have to be paid back. If you have insurance that covers your temporary housing costs, but you ask FEMA to advance you some money to help you pay for those costs while your insurance is delayed, you would need to pay that money back to FEMA after you receive your insurance settlement. FEMA partners with other agencies to help meet the needs of disaster survivors. The U.S. Small Business Administration offers low-interest disaster loans to homeowners and renters in a declared major disaster area. If you still have urgent needs, loans may help with home repair or replacement, personal property, vehicles, mitigation, business losses, and working capital for small businesses and most private nonprofits. Learn more about SBA disaster loans. You can also call the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362. Rumor: it costs money for an inspection to apply for assistance. This is not true. FEMA will never ask you to pay to apply for assistance or receive an inspection. If you have knowledge of fraud, waste, or abuse, you can report it anonymously by calling the FEMA Disaster Fraud Hotline at 866-720-5721. You can also email stopfemafraud at fema.dhs.gov. Okay, page 3. Rumor: others had more damage and need more help, so I can't apply for assistance. This is not true. FEMA funding is available to assist all eligible survivors who have suffered losses because of disasters. Rumor: FEMA assistance is only for homeowners. This is not true. Renters may apply for disaster assistance with FEMA. FEMA may be able to provide pre-disaster renters with money to help pay for short-term lodging expenses, cost for renting temporary housing, and the cost of replacing or repairing a vehicle and other necessary personal property. FEMA may also be able to help pay for uninsured medical, dental, childcare, moving, and storage expenses. If direct housing assistance is authorized for the disaster, pre-disaster renters may be eligible for direct temporary housing assistance if they are unable to use financial assistance to secure temporary housing. Rumor: FEMA will pay for my food or transportation cost while I'm staying at the hotel through the Transitional Sheltering Assistance (TSA) program. This is not true. Eligible expenses under TSA may include the cost of the room and taxes charged by a hotel or other lodging provider. This does not include cost of food, phone calls, transportation, or other miscellaneous expenses. Rumor: I will receive reimbursement for my eligible lodging expenses immediately. This is not true. Your timeline can vary because requests are manually reviewed. For example, in larger scale disasters with many applicants, reimbursement of receipts may take longer. And guys, I am kind of wondering if maybe FEMA will start hiring because of this. So I might look into that. Because I love my job at the movie theater, but I also really love helping people. And I always think it's good to kind of like explore your options and see like what else is out there. Rumor: I have insurance. I can't be reimbursed for lodging expenses. It depends. By law, FEMA cannot duplicate benefits of insurance. If insurance does not cover the entire cost of your lodging expenses during a disaster, you may still be eligible for reimbursement. And lastly, rumor: FEMA may be able to reimburse me for lodging expenses if I'm displaced from my primary residence. FEMA may be able to provide reimbursement for out-of-pocket lodging expenses that are not covered by insurance benefits. A resident's pre-disaster primary residence must be unlivable or inaccessible to be considered. Keep copies of your receipts so you can file them along with your disaster assistance application. All right, you guys, we went for a long time today. Thank you so much to those of you who watched. I hope, oh my goodness, did it not show? Was it not showing all the rumors? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today. Thank you for the donation, Uncommon Sense. I'm going to add that to what I'm donating to the Red Cross when I get off of the live. Thank you guys so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I will see you next week.